Happy Venus Day, everybody. Welcome to this love energy reading for Friday, October 28th. Thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who are new, my name is Jane. So let's go ahead and get into this reading. We have two different segments. So for the first segment, it's going to be a pick a card reading for those of you who are married or in established connections. And for the second segment, it's going to be for those who are single and looking for love, or if you find yourself in a situationship. So the timestamps for each segment will be found in the description box down below. All right, see you in just a sec. All right, my beautiful coupled people, welcome to the first segment of this reading. So as always, we have three piles. This week we are using chrysoprase for the first pile, rubellite for the second pile, and a carnelian stone for the third pile. So go ahead and take a moment and choose which one is drawing you in the most. Now, not everyone always feels intuitively drawn, and that's perfectly fine. You can always randomly select a pile because chances are there will be a useful message in there for you somewhere. Okay? Again, timestamps in the description box and the comment thread down below. See you in just a sec. All right, pile number one, you guys selected the chrysoprase. So let's go ahead and see what this one is. You start with the wolf, which says, beware who you trust. Now I'm going to pull out two more cards to support this. It is, well, before I say anything, let me just pull out some supporting cards. Reckless actions lead to conflict. One more, and then I'll start talking, I promise. Your perseverance is rewarded, the sun. Okay. I'm wondering if you're kind of picking up on the notion that your partner, or maybe you're the one doing it, not quite sure who's doing it, but I feel like someone is keeping something from you or from the other. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean anything bad. I'm not talking about like infidelity or anything like that. It just means maybe someone is still processing something and is not entirely ready to share it. But I do sense that intuition is very, very, very strong. But the question is what are you going to do with that intuition? Because some people may be picking up like, oh, something is wrong with my partner. I can tell they're keeping something from me. And then they're going to jump to conclusions and start making accusations, which is most likely going to be wrong. You'll probably be wrong, okay? So it's going to be very important for you when or if you do feel that concern of like, okay, I can tell that the energy is off here, and I know that there's not full transparency. Okay, like I can just sense a detachment or a disassociation, or it's like they're physically here, but mentally they're completely somewhere else. I can just tell. And you want to trust that gut instinct, but you also don't want to make that mean something that it may not truly mean. Now, I like that we have the sun. Your perseverance is rewarded because this is a suggestion that it's all going to work out okay. All right, but if you do jump to conclusions and start making accusations, there's going to be enhanced conflict, because what I'm sensing is that someone is not really ready to be vulnerable. We have to remember that it is still Scorpio season, and not only is it Scorpio season, but we also have Mercury and Venus in Scorpio. As of tomorrow, Mercury comes into Scorpio. We also just had Jupiter come into Pisces as well, and we have Mars basically not moving at all right now. He's going to be going super, super slow for the next couple of days until he goes retrograde on the 30th. Okay, so the planetary influence, it's not supportive of, like, I don't know, it's not supportive of things moving quickly. And so someone may need to process something that they're going through, and they may not really understand what they're going through. And if the other person is jumping to some conclusions and all of a sudden making like, oh, you're cheating on me. It's like, no, I'm not cheating on you. Like, what are you even talking about? And then it's going to be this whole like weird game, and it's going to turn into a game, and it's going to be a big problem. Okay, so it's going to be so important. Like if you do get that intuitive ping or that intuitive feeling, that you don't make it mean something that it doesn't. All right, this would be a time to just communicate. And you have to be ready that maybe your partner is not willing to truly communicate, or maybe you're not really truly ready to communicate either. Maybe even if you were to sit down and have a conversation, maybe there would be like, what am I trying to say here? There just wouldn't be a lot of information, or someone wouldn't be able to truly articulate it because they don't truly understand it. So you would be prematurely trying to get information from someone that they themselves do not have, right? Okay, let's pull out a couple more here. The chalice, which says rejuvenation and fulfillment. And I love that with the perseverance being rewarded. If you can kind of hold off on trying to force anything for the next couple of weeks, let's wait until we get out of eclipse season. Let's wait until after November 8th. Then things can be better sorted, and you'll be able to figure things out a lot better. And the two of you can collaborate a lot better too. So then we have serendipity, which says bright new prospects are on the horizon, and follow your intuition. Yeah, because I think that if you were to jump to conclusions, which would likely lead to conflict, if you were to do that, that is certainly coming from a place of fear and projected trauma. Again, it may be you, it may be them. It may be something that the two of you are doing against someone else. I'm not really sure who this is, but if it's your partner that's acting weird and you're the one that's having to like cool your jets a little bit, just know that there is really, really, really positive stuff that's going to be coming from this. And it likely will bring the two of you together, but you don't want to push someone away unnecessarily. There are bright new prospects on the horizon. There are beautiful new ventures and endeavors for the both of you. And if you follow your intuition, chances are it's going to tell you to be quiet in the mind. All right, not necessarily with the mouth. Okay, you can still talk to your partner, but like to be quiet in the mind. And yes, you are sensing that something is off. It just may not be exactly what you think it is. All right, sometimes intuitive and empathic people, as they get older and they get into relationship, it is very, very common to have that off feeling and then to project something that is not necessarily real onto that feeling based on past experiences. But I don't know that the partner or the one that's acting weird has really given you any reason to really not trust them. So now you're like, why am I all of a sudden feeling distrustful? Why am I all of a sudden feeling skeptical? Why is it now that because of the way they're behaving, now I'm wanting to kind of clam up as well? Just remember, all this water energy with Mars slowing way down. Now we have Jupiter in Pisces. We've got all this Scorpio stuff going on. Sometimes we just need our privacy, and we need to go through things internally in order for us to really figure out what's going on. Okay? So let's pull out just one oracle card. And we have dreams. All right, well, first of all, let's just talk about the fact that you may be having pretty lucid dreams right now. That if that were the case, that wouldn't surprise me. But also dreams are also very strange and nonsensical and delusional and all that kind of thing. There's not a lot of truth to them necessarily. It's like our conscious mind trying to make sense of what our subconscious is trying to say, and it comes out in all sorts of weird unfiltered things and shapes and forms of energy and whatnot. So again, make sure that you're not projecting here, and make sure your partner is not projecting onto you either. If you need to reassure each other, then by all means, you can reassure each other and say, well, when the energy passes, then we can sit down and have a long conversation about it, but I'm just not ready yet. If that's what needs to happen, then that's what needs to happen. Okay? All right, pile one, I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you so much. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 2, you selected the rubellite. So let's see what this card says. All right, it says Earth. Utilize logic, reason, and common sense. This is really good grounding place to start. As you move forward, the question is, especially romantically and when dealing with each other, the question is, what is the most logical and rational step right now? How do we work out this issue that we're having? And yes, this does include communication, and it includes problem solving, and it also includes being willing to fix issues. Sometimes, especially if you identify a little bit more with the divine feminine energies, sometimes when we're having a problem or an emotional upset, or we're having an issue at work or something, sometimes we want to come home and we just want to talk about it. We don't always necessarily want our partners to come in and save the day with some awesome solution, even if they're right, But I think right now, this is a time to let your partner help. This is a time to accept the solutions that are being offered to you. It's not a time for just venting or just feeling. This is a time to find solutions to get yourself out of a circumstance that you're not happy in or that's not working. Okay? So what else for pile 2? We have the Raven. Darkness looms on the horizon. And the Wyvern. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly, I'm sorry, but it says your secrets are safe. There does seem to be something in the shadows. Darkness looms on the horizon, your secrets are safe. Are you trying to keep something? Not that you're doing anything bad or wrong. Sometimes we do want to keep things inside. I'm feeling like the more and more you want to keep things inside or to keep something secret, the more and more likely it is that they're going to come out in some other kind of way. I think this is just such Scorpio energy right here with these two. Secrets are safe. The darkness looms on the horizon. And this isn't necessarily a dark omen, meaning something bad is going to happen. I feel like there's going to be a manifestation of the things that have been kept in the dark. So like if you had an affair with somebody, right, and you never told your partner, maybe it's going to come back up and it's going to become a theme again. Whether it's going to re-enter into your life, that person's going to come back or your partner's going to find out or something like that. So it's probably going to be best to be very open and honest, and hopefully your partner can do the same with you as well. And just make sure that there aren't any lingering, unresolved things or feelings, especially because as we approach this eclipse coming up here in the next week and a half on November 8th, as we approach that eclipse, things are going to really start getting more and more rocky, okay? Because that eclipse is conjunct Uranus, and we know and understand the volatility of Uranus. We have the Spirit. Unseen forces watch over you. The Satyr, revelry and indulgence. And the Oracle. Seek wisdom and guidance from elders. I feel like there's a big issue that is looming it's like neither of you are wanting to really approach it, because you know that the consequences of approaching it are actually quite a big deal, and they will have effects. And the question is like, do I want to deal with the effects or not? I genuinely don't know that you have a choice. I think that's where the astrology is pulling us. It's pulling us toward greater levels and greater degrees of exposure. It's pulling us toward greater illumination of really who we are. Now, some people are going to withdraw, and I'm kind of feeling like with this Seder, revelry and indulgence, there is almost like an escapist quality with that. Escaping the reality, trying to run away from the solutions, running away from common sense, running away from the best possible path. That's one thing. Or you can confront it, be vulnerable, be raw, and create space for your partner to do the same, and know that you are safe and you are guided. When we bring in the wisdom of our elders, now when we say elders here, this may or may not be an actual person who is older than you, okay? It may be ancestors that have already crossed over. It may be guides that you have, that kind of thing. It may even be your own future self. But calling upon those energies and those entities, and calling upon those that are wiser than you, will provide guidance in as you navigate this scenario. The thing that's bothering me is it says your secrets are safe. Which, as much as I want to say that this could be a manifestation of the, truth may not necessarily fully come out, but it may manifest in some other way. Like if someone is harboring something like a guilt or shame, it's not specifically that the secret of what happened to cause the guilt and shame is necessarily going to be revealed, but that guilt and shame is then going to manifest something else that may be unfavorable. All right, so if you want to avoid that, the best thing is to just access that point of origin. And if there were any indiscretions along the way, to admit it, especially to yourself, right? Especially. And be open to solutions, be open to figuring a way to fix it. And again, it is about fixing it. It's not just about like, oh, I'm in this place and I just want to feel my feelings. No, because Earth says right now is not the best time for that for you. You're going to have to want to fix it, but you're safe in wanting to fix it, but don't run away. There's a lot of like, we'll do this, but don't do this. We'll do this, but don't do this. But that's the thing is like, that though. You may be feeling a lot of push-pull, a lot of hot and cold energy, whether within the relationship or within you yourself. I want to. No, I don't. I want to. No, I don't. I should. No, I shouldn't. Should I? Should I? I don't know. All that kind of like up and down, left and right and all around type of stuff. You may feel like you don't have a lot of control over this. I don't think it's a good idea to keep these secrets. Obviously you're going to have to, you and your partner both, you're going to have to figure out what's best for each of you. Not everybody needs to know everything when we're in a relationship, but if it's creating problems, then probably it's a good time to really talk about it. Okay, let's pull out a card. Final card, just one oracle. Let's see what the theme is here. Harmony. It is all for the sake of harmony. Really, this is a card ruled by Venus. It's all for the sake of harmony. And sometimes, right, Venus, scales, we're not necessarily in Libra season anymore, so I know I can't really bring out the scales, but we can talk about how Scorpio is usually the place where we pay the sentence, right? So the judgment comes in Libra and then the sentence is carried out in Scorpio. This is where the debt is paid. All right, so if there is some kind of a debt that's needing to be paid, chances are in the weeks to come, it will find harmony and balance. Okay? All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 3. You guys selected the carnelian stone, so let's see what comes out. We have the moon. It says you will be guided through darkness. So maybe you and your partner are going through a bit of a strange place, and there has to be a lot of trust and a lot of loyalty exerted right now. You have to believe that the other will not abandon you. And this may be very triggering for some. This may be forcing you to really confront your past. You confront your past by moving forward. You are going to push through this. You are going to evolve, and you are going to transform your connection because you make it through this, and you will make it through. The King, authority and diplomacy. And the Siren. A temptation may lead you astray. I feel like you were trying to do everything right. You know, you really were trying so hard to do it right, to do it the right way, to do it the best way, to play by the rules, if you will. And maybe like sometimes even when you do everything, to the letter, it still falls apart. And so maybe there has been some disintegration between the two of you. Maybe communication isn't as strong as it was. And maybe things came to a little bit of a screeching halt. Maybe it was going good, and then all of a sudden, boom, now the energy shifted. Now, does it mean that anyone did anything wrong? No, not necessarily. It may be that the astrological environment is hitting you in two completely different ways, and you have to kind of isolate yourself from one another a little bit. But the real thing you have to pay attention to is when the energy gets weird like this, are you going to continue to stay loyal? Because, of course, I'm seeing the two people. Well, they're not really people, but we have like the Anubis people here. We have like the two entities. So are we going to stick together? Are we going to work together? Are we going to make it through the murkiness together? Or is someone going to try to escape or try to use this as an excuse to escape because they don't think that they can confront that aspect of themselves that is exhibiting a great deal of fear right now? That's the real question. The Golem. A close friend acts on your behalf. Water. Emotions are at their peak. Yeah, I'll bet they are. The forces of nature favor you. It's going to be really important to find safety and security within the arms of each other, right? In that home environment, in that togetherness environment. I like that a close friend acts on your behalf because it is likely that there is an act of loyalty here. For some reason, this Scorpio season I know that Scorpio and Taurus, their loyalty is certainly a theme for these, but every year, I don't know that I necessarily talked about it all that much, but for some reason, this Scorpio season, it is just like punching me in the face that right now, the theme of loyalty is so important. And how much loyalty we have and how much we can truly depend on other people. I feel like there are strong emotional demands within the connection right now. I do feel that someone is, the person who relates a little bit more to the divine feminine, that could be you, it could be your partner, but whoever relates a little bit more to the divine feminine is very stormy right now. You may be really, really, really feeling these eclipses a lot more than maybe the other person. And it can be hard to reconcile because there isn't a lot of logic here. There's not a lot of structure here. Like, these emotions cannot be put in boxes. These emotions cannot be identified and compartmentalized very, very well, right? It's just this whole big storm of emotion. But please remember the very first card that says you will be guided through darkness, which means there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a place where you're going to come out of this and things are going to, I don't want to say they're going to go back to normal, but they are going to achieve a new degree of equilibrium. As long as someone doesn't take this as an opportunity to step out. Some of you may be afraid of that a little bit in your gut, whether that your partner may do it or that you may do it. You may be feeling that potential and that possibility, although I don't necessarily see that happening, because right underneath it, the forces of nature favor you, which means things are going in your favor. And if a friend acts on your behalf, now this may be your partner or an actual friend, that they may intervene in some way that may ultimately help out. Okay. All right, let's see. Final card for pile 3. Scorpio season, bringing out all the Scorpio-ness. And we have waiting for the dark period to be over. Yeah, I think when we hit that second week in November, that's when we're going to start to feel this energy truly lift. And you'll feel like, okay, we made it through. We did it. We're all good. Okay? All right. Thank you guys so much. You guys know I love you. Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, this segment is for those of you who are single or finding yourself in a situationship. So as always, we have 3 piles. Pile 1, we are using a carnelian stone. Pile 3, a chrysoprase. For pile 2, did I say pile 3? I meant pile 2. Pile 3, we're using a rubellite. All right, so find the timestamps in the description box in the comment thread down below so you can quickly jump to your pile. All right, see you in just a sec. All right, pile number 1, you select the carnelian stone. So we start off with the dagger. It says conflict and danger lie in wait. Okay, well, that's a really scary card. Okay, well, I'm not surprised. The astrological environment, it's very weird. And if you're trying to go out there and to meet somebody, I really don't think now is the time. We have Venus coming into her conjunction with the South Node over in Scorpio. We just left Libra season. Libra and Scorpio season, it's really, really, really important that you pay attention to the commitments that you make during these times, because there can be massive karmic effects that occur if you make wrong or bad or unhealthy choices. All right, so if you are out there in the dating world, or if you are dealing with someone in a situationship and it is likely that it is not going very well, or if it has been going well, it's likely that you may come up against another off period. Like if it's been an on and off again thing, you may be coming into an off period. Let's see what else comes through around it. Okay, your abilities will be enhanced. One more. The forces of nature favor you. Okay. I'm kind of getting a little bit of a hero's journey here, where you set out upon some endeavor, right? I'm going to go find the love of my life. I'm going to go find this partner. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to go date. I'm going to open my heart to this, and I'm going to manifest this. And then you get swatted down, and you're like, why? Like, if the universe or God or my higher self didn't want me to have this, why did they instill such a strong desire in my heart, right? Why do I care if I'm just going to be bombarded with all these these types of people? But I actually am feeling an incredibly triumphant exit from this period of time, meaning being put through the ringer the way you have been, being treated the way you have been, only increases your standards, right? Your abilities will be enhanced. You only get more and more and more direct and more succinct with what it is that you need in your life. And that enables the universe to bring that person to you. So I don't really see, I mean, this may be frustrating and difficult, and maybe there are feelings of sadness and loneliness, especially now that Jupiter has come back into Pisces. I mean, I would say that would be the one planetary placement that I would say, yeah, if you're feeling lonely, that's astrologically logical. I just realized that logic was in astrological. The word logic wasn't astrological. That there's logic to it. So you don't have to berate yourself or anything. You can just feel the loneliness. You can just feel the desire to want to connect. You can feel that sense of romance and those, that kind of fairy tale dream sort of creeping up in your heart. You can feel it. But I would still be very careful about going out there and putting yourself in situations that don't feel really, really, really good from a dating perspective. I would wait until after the eclipses for that. I'm not saying that if you met someone in the next couple of days that it couldn't be amazing, but I feel like there are too many landmines. That's what I'm hearing. There are too many landmines right now. Fire. Reckless action leads to conflict. Yeah, exactly. So let's pull out a couple more here. The Raven. Darkness looms on the horizon. What is going on with you guys? Conflict and danger lie in wait, and darkness looms in the horizon. Look, okay, you guys are not doomed. All right, let's just be very clear about that. These are kind of ominous descriptions here, but I think the reason for this, there is a warning coming out for sure. And it's warning you, and it's saying, be incredibly decisive, be discriminating, right? Please do not be afraid to take people off of your option block, okay? Make sure that you are holding yourself in the absolute and utmost highest standards right now. Because if you lower your standards, and you start kind of dating somebody, or you kind of haphazardly put yourself out there, there may be something like I keep getting the image of like, you may want to just go out and have a fling one night, but then you may randomly get pregnant, and then you're put in that scenario of like, well, what do I do? And do I tell the person, and which way do I go from here? And how am I going to deal with all the emotions and things that come with that? And it could be not healthy for you. And it could be avoidable as well. I don't know why the pregnancy thing was coming into my mind. Maybe that's the Taurus energy, the Empress energy, and the tarot is coming out. But here we have the unforeseen forces watch over you. You are being guided. We have the forces of nature and the unforeseen, or the unseen forces. So we have a lot of both physical and spiritual support here to help get you through this particular period of time. You're not being ignored. You're not being cast away. You're just having to go through this this portal, if you will. Again, portal is what I use, is the word that I use to describe a chunk of time. But I think that will end, I mean, it may end on the eclipses on November 8th. Chances are next week when we do these love readings, you're going to check your reading and it's going to probably be a totally, completely different message. So for whatever reason, you guys needed to be warned right now. So just play it super cool, super safe. If you're in a situationship, I'd cool your jets. I wouldn't push to make anything happen. And I wouldn't, honestly, I would be reticent to tell you to put any effort into it at all. Okay. One last oracle card here. Speak the language of love. Loving words have the power to change lives, including your own. All right, so that's a really good kind of compliment to this, since these have some very sharp messages for you. So tapping into your own personal loving nature, tapping into your own divinity, and granting yourself every moment that you can, right? Giving everything you can to yourself. That's going to serve well. Be kind, be gentle, be compassionate, but also be smart. Okay? All right. Thank you guys so much. It'll be better next week, I promise. All right. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 2. You guys selected the chrysoprase. So let's see the first message. This is the Hand of Fate. Forces beyond your control intervene. Well, that may be good or bad. Pretty much it's just expect the unexpected right now. And to be honest, as we build up to this eclipse on November 8th, which is going to be conjunct Uranus, I honestly feel like everything is fair game right now. Literally everything is fair game. Let's see what else comes out to support this message. Choose your words carefully. And use your skills to aid others. All right, I think right now, for you guys, focusing on dating may be a little bit of a struggle, and it may not necessarily be something that you are even wanting to do. Even if you're in a situationship, you may be tiring out of the same old, same old. You may be getting to a point of emotional exhaustion, and you may be feeling like you're wanting to redirect your energy towards something a little bit more productive or more effective, or to give your energy to people that will appreciate it a little bit more. If you have been actively dating, I wouldn't be surprised if you decided to take a break right now and just said, you know what, I think like choose your words carefully also kind of leads me to say, well, speak minimally. There's like a minimalist quality to that. It's not only being smart with how you communicate, but it's also being very selective, not only with whom you communicate, but also just simply communicating in general, being minimalist and wanting to be, well, I don't know that you are wanting to be anything. It's just that being exposed is tiring. And maybe you're getting tired of being out there. But the Hand of Fate is showing up, and it is possible that the Hand of Fate may bring something quite lovely into your life. Something unexpected, something that you didn't necessarily count on. Winds of change. Your surroundings will undergo transition. The hourglass. Time is of the essence. Okay, there is definitely something brewing. romantically, I'm getting well, hold on, let me finish the last card. Water. Emotions are at their peak. You know, you guys know I'm not like the type of tarot reader that likes to dangle things in front of you and say, oh, it's coming, it's coming. And you've probably heard me say that before in these love readings, because I want to be careful and I don't want to like make false promises and all that. But I do think that whatever circumstance you're in, clearly it's changing. Clearly you can expect that where you are at in life will not be where you are in the upcoming month. I genuinely believe March and on into April next year is really, really when we're going to start seeing real change. And between now and then is when we're going to feel so disconnected from our own personal normals. And we're going to be like, I am not that person anymore. Like, I can't believe I feel so ungrounded and so unrooted in who I have been for so long. And now all of a sudden I'm someone else and I didn't even know that I was on this journey. Like, there are certain things in this life that we can do consciously, and there are other things that we simply cannot. We cannot be conscious about everything as much as we would like to try or as much as we would like to be. But your relationship status is changing. And it's not just changing for the sake of change. It's happening because you have evolved so vastly. And there is such a stark contrast between who you are and who you were. And I'm almost kind of feeling like with this one, forces beyond your control intervene, and then time, which is also a force that is beyond your control. There's nothing you can do about time. Time is of the essence. I'm almost kind of feeling like the universe is scrambling a little bit. I know that sounds a little ridiculous, kind of a silly notion, but the universe is scrambling to get you what you need. It's scrambling to get you to where you need to be. And maybe the universe was expecting you to make, I know that also sounds silly. It's like, I know we're all one, we're all connected and all that, but I almost kind of feel like your own free will threw a wrench in the spokes that the universe wasn't expecting, or that your own higher self kind of wasn't even expecting. And so now that you're kind of back on track, the universe is like, okay, great. They're back on track, and now we have to speed up this process now. Because maybe it was supposed to start, a couple of years ago, but your free will came in and did what it does, and it kind of took you on a little bit of a detour. And now that you kind of collided with your own personal destined path, time gets to speed up, and you get to experience things faster. So I wouldn't be surprised if either you found an entirely new person. Well, actually, that could be true for if you're single or if you're in a situationship. I think if you're in a situationship right now, the chances of that being the thing that ultimately works out is very slim. Very, very slim. Okay? All right, let's pull out an oracle card to finish off this reading. The only thing that is real is love. Shift your focus back to love. Yeah. But love is very different than trying to get a boyfriend or trying to get a girlfriend. Very different. And that's why I think use your skills to aid others. It's like taking all this energy and time and attention that you may have been spending on potentially, dating and whatnot, and giving it to someone that really appreciates it or that is truly grateful. Like cook a meal for someone that needs it. Help someone that needs it. And you'll start to realize that the love that maybe you had been seeking, it wasn't resonating with that frequency. but it will resonate with the frequency of this wizard here. Okay? All right. Thank you, pile 2. I hope you have an amazing weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, pile number 3, you selected the Rubellite. So the first card that comes out is the Griffin, which is honor and good luck. Well, that's a really good way to start. There have been some really difficult piles, I'm not going to lie, with this particular week's readings. So to have a sense of good fortune coming your way, it's because you have been working hard. It is because you've developed your craft, your skill, and in love, chances are the way you feel about yourself are going to start being reflected back to you through the eyes of another. Rejuvenate and fulfillment, or rejuvenation and fulfillment, and seduction. Beautiful. Passion and romance await. Wow, this is a really refreshing reading. Pile 1 was super tough. It was very warning oriented. So I feel that this pile has a more free-flowing energy to it. There are fewer obstructions. There's not as many dark spots ahead. There's a lot more light ahead. Excuse me. And I know you've been doing the work here, the rejuvenation. You have been doing the work. If you are in a situationship, it is possible that the two of you actually could come to a greater degree of commitment. That is a very real possibility with this pile. If you've had your eyes on somebody, I'm not going to tell you to really approach them or to try to make anything happen. I think you're going to have to figure out what the best approach is. Some of you will do that, some of you will not. But if you have had your eyes on somebody specific, I do think that the romantic energy is in your favor. So the likelihood of something positive working out is high, although not 100% guaranteed, but it is still very high, higher than for others. And if you're completely single and not dating at all, chances are, as Jupiter re-entered into Pisces, you are feeling more and more and more like you do want this love in your life. You really do want this love in your life. Here's the obstruction. A barrier keeps you from your goal. And this barrier really could be anything. It could be, I don't want to go out dating until I get my hair done, or I got to lose some weight, or I need to go shopping, or I need to wait until I don't have enough time, or until I'm not working so hard, or, all the things that we say to put it off and put it off and put it off. But right now, I don't know that that's in your best interest. If you really say that you want love, you can't come up with frivolous excuses as to why you're not truly making yourself available. Especially in today's day and age when people are working so hard and people may be a little bit more inaccessible. There does need to be a little bit of extra effort put into it depending on your own individual lifestyle. We have the Spider, which says, be meticulous and patient. This is the first time this card has come out today. So this is definitely meant for you. Be meticulous and patient. I like the word meticulous a lot. I maybe that's just me because I'm a Virgo, but I really like it because this is saying, don't make mistakes. Don't make the same mistakes. Don't fall for the same chemistry. This is a chance to do it differently and to do it right, to do it differently and to do it right. And the spider is often, associated with the weaver of dreams. So, to remember that we are the creator, we are the weavers of the tapestries of our own lives. And so to be able to make choices and make decisions that work in our favor and to our benefit and ultimately have our own best interest at heart, that's what we can do, especially in romance, choosing the right people. Not the people that bring us that familiar feeling of love, that's rooted in our childhood traumas, but people that make us feel truly safe and secure, and people that challenge us and don't abandon us when we need to heal. And we have the Minstrel, also the first time a lot of these cards were the first time I saw in the reading. So then we have Minstrel, let your intentions be known. Yeah, now is not really a time for passive aggressive stuff. Even though Mercury is in Scorpio, there is still, the Mars rulership of Scorpio, which is very direct. And even though Mars is going retrograde, he's still in Gemini. So we do need to communicate and articulate what we're thinking and what we're feeling, and not expecting everybody to just be freaking mind readers. And we should expect that of others as well, because the more open and the more honest we can be, the more likely we are to succeed in this. But this is an incredibly positive message. I'm very happy for this one. I almost feel like it feels like a relief. So please embrace this moment, embrace this energy. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Okay? Oh, hold on. I forgot. I got to do an oracle card. Sorry. I forgot. We're going to do... It says, treasure your loved ones. It is important to love others deeply. Well, we always love that one when it comes out. Just that reminder that love is not just romance, right? There are so many different forms of love of children, love of your parents, love of best friends, love of your neighbors, love of your communities, all that kind of thing. So make sure that you're putting emphasis and effort in that aspect as well, and it's not only romantically inclined. Okay? All right. Pile 3. I'm going to leave you with that. The saving grace of the day. I'll leave you with that. Thank you so much. Have an excellent weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.